Today we'll be using Boolean operations on two models. Boolean operations involve merging two objects and either combining them together, subtracting one from the other, or creating a new object from the intersecting portions of the original objects. Boolean operations do have niche uses, but when the certain use is desired, they are very effective. Let's get started. First, we will make a mold for one of the objects we made earlier. We may want to use a mold if we would like to make objects out of materials such as wax or soap. In my case, I want to make a candle out of one of my chess pieces I've designed. Go to the Data panel, find the file you want, and open it. To start the mold, start a sketch in a plane that is parallel to the longest dimension of the object. Here, the longest dimension is height, so I want a plane parallel to this direction. Usually, you can select one of the origin planes, but in case it doesn't work for your piece, I'll use this plane out here and show you how to align the mold with a part. Now that we've started the sketch, the sketching part is easy. Simply draw a rectangle that is larger than the object. Extruding this is a little trickier. We want to be only a little more than half as thick as the thickest part of the object. If we're not sure how thick the object is, we can use the timeline to go back to a certain sketch and measure the thickness. Remember or write this down. Bring the timeline back to the present and extrude the mold part to about 75% of the object's thickness. We have our mold, and it's now time to intersect it with our object. Right-click the mold and select Move. Switch from faces to bodies, and then select the mold again. Now we can move it. You can either directly input how far you would like to move it, or just drag it. We need to move it so that the front face of the mold is bisecting our object, perfectly cutting it in half. Here, I need to move it 75 millimeters this way. Once you're done moving, check and make sure that the mold is exactly where we want it, cutting the object in half. Now we can use Boolean operations. In Fusion 360, they are located here in the Modify menu under Combine. Select Combine, and then select our target. Our mold is our target since we are cutting into it. Select our tool piece, which will be our original object. Select Cut, then hit OK. If you followed along, you should now have a mold. All we need to do now is cut an access hole at the bottom for our casting material. If your object is radially symmetrical, or if it looks the same from all angles, you're done. All you need to do is save this as an STL and print 2 copies. Mine, however, is not radially symmetrical. The P on top means I will need to make a mirrored copy. This is fairly easy. I'll just make an offset plane somewhere away from the mold, and then use the mirror tool. Select Bodies, select our mold, and select the plane we made as the mirroring plane. Hit OK. We're done. Just save each mold as a separate STL file. Today, we only use the subtraction or cutting function of the Combine tool. You can experiment and see how the join and intersection results look. Your assignment is to make molds for 2 of your previous objects, following the technique shown in this video. If you have any questions, please ask for help. Good luck!